Hey guys, how's it going? And welcome back. So we've got the Fender Squire Bullet. Not a bad guitar. And it's a hardtail. Sweet! No whammy bar to worry about. Staying tuned a lot better this way too. So yeah, I picked this up at Long McQuaid. Rental, of course, for now. Gotta try it out, you know? And it's right-handed. They don't have a left-handed version. Kinda really sucks. But hey, what do you do, right? At least I can play both ways. I'm just still better at left-handed than right-handed. But hey, I'm not opposed to having more right-handed guitars. Doesn't really bother me much, right? But we'll see. Because I'm not... I would like more, if I'm going to get a Strat, I would like more of a traditional Strat, like SSS. This is HSS, which for me kind of turns me off of buying it because I do have a Kramer VT211S, which is HSS already, so it's kind of like, man, it's got the whammy bar. So it's kind of like, well, why have two of the same configuration? Makes no sense to me. But we'll see. So I am plugged in my my Katana 50 watt amp, and we're on clean right now. Now, I don't think I've ever had a Bullet on my channel in all these years of being a YouTuber, and I thought, well, I've had the Squire classic 50s and 60s and 70s stuff, right? And I almost had a Mexican Telly in white, left-handed, but two lemons in a row just really turned me off of the Mexican Tellys, and I still want a white guitar. Preferably left though, but hey, I'll take right at this point. I'm not prepared to spend huge bucks with Fender on a left-handed white Telly. So I may have to yet just buy something like a black Telly or something that's a good Telly, and then just strip the paint and paint it white myself, you know, because I just definitely have to have it. But I gotta get a Telly that's also good, not like the lemons I had. Anyways, I have owned, I believe, a Bullet or two in the past. This would have been long before I ever got on YouTube, and I was never impressed with them. Razor blade frets, really cheap garbagey tuners. Kind of like the garbagey tuners that come on the Kramer VT211S. Very bad tuners. They've made some improvements. We've got the skunk strip down the back here. We've got either a no finish or a satin finish of some sort on the neck. It probably is a very light satiny finish because yeah, it's looks like it's probably a satin finish on it. We will go over the specs, of course, from the website because you know, just without looking at the website yet, which I haven't, but it is up on the screen. I just haven't read it yet. It looks like we do have a rosewood fingerboard. But we do have some half-decent tuners for a change. And I thought, well, that's impressive. You know, like, since when do Bullets have actual real tuners on them? I mean, affinities, yes. You know, and affinities are definitely way better than the Bullets, in my opinion, personally. You know, and I've had those too. So I'm going to play a little bit here for you. Nothing special. I mean, like I said, I'm still working on this whole right-handed thing, so don't judge. Let's try to go for an A chord. let's try a little bit of distortion here. I still haven't even gotten to programming my Katana amp yet. I think we need to turn that down a little. Okay, so you know, I'm still not that great playing right-handed. I will say this: it's comfortable. You know, I like the body size on the Strats. They're a little bigger, you know, than some other guitars that are like little tiny bodies, right? They're more of a comfy guitar because you can even just sit here across your leg and, you know, just. Okay, but let's take a look at some things here. We've got definitely a black paint job, obviously. String through the bridge itself, nothing through the body. Bolt-on neck, maple neck at that. That's going to be our Cocoa Bolo or Rosewood Skunk Strip, which you usually don't see on cheap guitars much, do you? Right? But it is becoming a more common practice thing. So, hey, why not? Give us some class for the money. We do have, of course, a single-layered pickguard. We have a humbucker, 2 single coils, obviously 5-way switch. Now there's no control over the tone on the humbucker, but there is when you're mixing the rest of them. It's kind of a weird setup. But so it's kind of like they just wired the humbucker for wide open, which is kind of cool. I mean, humbuckers, usually you run the tone wide open and the volume wide open anyway, so hey, what the heck. It's already there, don't have to mess with nothing. Typical Strat boat input or output jack. The tuners are nice. I like this style of a tuner, and they are nice and comfy tuners as far as, you know, they do feel very smooth. So I guess they put a little bit of thought into this guitar. The neck's not really thin, but it's not really chunky. It's not a baseball bat. It's not, you know, really super wide or anything, but, you know, it is nice. The fretwork is just like, I'm impressed. I mean, it's not smooth as a baby's bum, but hey, what do you want for the money, right? I mean, but at least there's absolutely no sharp edges whatsoever. So that's good, you know. Nothing's cutting into me at all or anything. They do feel, you know, even for string bending, they feel pretty smooth. So, but yeah, all right. This little thing here, which is normally a real piece of wood, that coloration area for the truss rod, well, that's not a piece of wood. That's actually fake. So they kind of did like, I guess, a burned-in effect or something on that, because if that's a piece of wood, that would surprise me. It really would surprise me. So, but I don't know. It could be a piece of wood. It's just, it's really hard to see this. Because I've seen companies being able to pull it off before. Oh, you know what? That I think is probably, it actually looks more like a plastic insert. Yeah, it looks like a plastic insert is what it is. So yeah, I don't think it's wood. It's more than likely just a plastic insert. So it's looking that way from all the shaping, and there's absolutely no grain in it. So, yeah, that's an insert. Okay, so clarified. I didn't think there'd be a real piece of wood in there anyways, especially at this price point for a bullet. Okay, I'm just going to quickly take a look over here at the Long McQuay website. So our body is made out of basswood. And it's actually got some weight to it. Polyurethane finish. It's a Strat maple neck. Polyurethane on the neck. So yes, it does have like basically a very thin layer. C-shaped neck profile. 25.5 scale length. Indian laurel fingerboard. 9.5 inch radius, 21 frets, medium jumbo, synthetic bone nut. Now the nut is kind of, it's squared off, but it's rounded on the edges. Very nice, so it's not like dead square with rough edges, which you'll usually find on some pretty cheap guitars. Regular standard humbucking pickup, standard single coil Strat, standard single coil Strat for the 2 pickups that are single coils. 6 saddle, no tremolo, obviously it's a hardtail. Die-cast tuners, 1-ply white pick guard, plastic of course, the usual. Strings are USA Fenders, 250Ls, 9 to 42, and no accessories are included with this thing. So no case, no truss rod, key by the looks of things. Unless you get one, you'll be lucky, but it doesn't mention it. But that's the basics. Now at Long McQuaid in Canada, this is actually retails out at $259.99. That's actually not a bad price. You are getting a really good beginner grade guitar for that price. And you know the funny thing is with me learning right-handed right now, a lot of my right-handed guitars are beginner grade except for 2 of them would not be. That would be my one Jackson and of course my Les Paul Classic. Not beginner grade guitars for right-handed, but can't complain. The wife bought me the Les Paul and I bought the Jackson. But it is comfy to play, and it is a Strat no matter how you look at it. It's not traditional Strat, but you know, I gotta tell you, like, I don't even know why they bother with tremolo bars anymore, like especially the Strat style, because most players don't even use them. They just, you know, deck them and that's it, you know, because the guitars really don't stay in tune once you start whacking on the whammy bar, right? It's very hard to get a Strat to set up and stay in tune with a whammy bar. There are ways to do it, but if you have to put in that much extra money, then is the product really a good product at that point? So I think hardtails definitely rule, and of course a Floyd Rose system, totally awesome. I do have a guitar with a Floyd and that thing stays in tune so well, it's crazy. But I like this. It's nice. I would recommend it definitely for a beginner. And that'll do you even into your intermediate playing too if you want. Now amps are going to be all different. So try different amps out with the guitar and see how these pickups sound with different amps if you're thinking about picking this up, and pick up an amp that goes along well with it too. Because no 2 amps are the same, that's for darn sure. You know. But you do still get that Strat sound out of it. When you're coming off from the humbucker, so that at least is a good thing. Now they don't really tell us the positions if that humbucker splits out into a single to go along with the other. So, or do they? Let's see. Bridge pickup is 1, position 2, bridge and middle. Position 3 is middle, position 4 is middle and neck, and position 5 is just neck. So they're not coil splitting the humbucker to go in between. So whatever. It is what it is, and that's okay. It's still, I think it's a nice sounding guitar, and it's definitely nice to play. And the 9.5 inch radius is kind of nice too, so no real complaints there. So if you're looking at something like this, especially for a beginner student, for sure, check one of these things out at Long McQuaid in Canada, or wherever you happen to shop. Check out the Bullet. I'm impressed that the Bullets have come along this far. Like I said, back in the day, Bullets were not very good guitars. They were like they're still the epitome guitar of Fender. Let's face it, they're still the bottom feeder, because you have the Bullet, then you have the Affinity, and then you just go up the line from there, right? So, but even for the bottom feeder, this is a good contender against the Affinities for sure. You know, so there's a little bit of playroom there, you know. I mean, the Affinities are still a little bit better, in my opinion, but definitely, this is a really impressive Strat, and at least you know it's going to stay in tune really well, being you don't have a whammy bar to worry about, and beginners shouldn't have whammy bars anyways. It's nothing but problems. Yeah, the action height is actually set really good on this thing. Still a little bit of room left on the adjusters if you needed it. The relief on this one, that could actually come down a little bit. It's sitting, just by eyeballing it, I'm going to call it about 15 thou. The normal is around 10. I usually like about an 8 thou relief in the neck. Now this has got nothing to do with your action per se, it's more the relief needed in the neck. You only need a little bit, but too much can get problematic when you start playing upper frets too. You know, that sort of thing. So, because the idea of the relief too is to help the string come up and over the fret in front of what you're fretting. So, and if it's too upward, it's a problem. If it's too backward, it's a problem too. But yeah, check one out, and I highly recommend picking one up. You want a star rating? I'll give this an easy 4.5 out of 5. I have no problems with that, okay? So, again, go pick one up. I will see you guys in the next video because I have a surprise for you in the next video. Yes, it is another guitar. Yes, it is a Fender. Yes, that's all I'm going to tell you. But I'm not going to tell you what Fender. You're going to have to kind of guess that. But anyway, see you in the next one.